Hello. Oh my god, I sound purple. Or at least hello, hi. Good morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are. Renge Mikazuki. Once again, making an attempt to dream, draw, whatever the frick. I'm sorry, I'm like sorta out of it. It wouldn't be a complete lie to say that it's because I got up really like hours ago. I'm just very sluggish right now, and to put it in a way, I'm very cold, so I'm literally just sitting on my hand trying to warm them up before I draw. So yeah, I'm basically trying to draw on the now. So I'm trying to warm myself up a little bit, but yes, hello, welcome. Today I will hopefully be able to demonstrate some of the concepts, fundamentals that I've learned in order to try to better improve my drawing skills, you know, because like most, if not many others, I too started without properly practicing and learning the fundamentals that to poses, anatomy, values, basic color theory, and all that stuff. So I'm hoping by doing more drawing streams, it will encourage also, you know, draw more and improve my skills. Hello, Dodge. Hello. Yes, I'm trying to art. Hopefully, I'm just warming my hands right now because it's cold. And if many of you have not noticed or have noticed the change in ambient music, well, you know, those who aren't watching YouTube. For those of you watching on Twitch, I'm currently playing a playlist of songs I've put together to, you know, draw to. But because this is all copyrighted music, none of that is going to go through via YouTube. So if you're watching on YouTube, you are a poor unfortunate soul, and you should probably watch on Twitch. You wanna listen to the ambiance and too. Actually, let me check the YouTube. I'm gonna pause the music because I'm gonna just check something. Action. Where'd it go? Okay, yeah. If you're unfortunately watching on YouTube, you gotta. If you want to listen to the music, you gotta go to Twitch. Yeah. Sorry, YouTube folks, but because I do not want to be struck down by Google, YouTube, you know, I'm playing this music via mostly Twitch. Even the bot is not gonna have this music, so yes. Take this chance while you can. But yes, alright. A lot of yapping there, but the point of today, mostly at least, I want to take a little bit more than an hour of the stream, practice some of the fundamentals that I've learned, primarily when it comes to drawing poses. I've been meaning to try to get back in a habit of gesture drawings on a more frequent basis. Problem is, whenever I look back on my old drawings, I feel like I lack a very significant understanding proportions. So therefore, today's not going to be about how to, well, kind of actually, part of it is going to be me trying to understand how to incorporate, you know, the proportions that I've learned so far, learning videos, and as well as concepts of gesture drawing, so that when it gets to the point of doing timed gesture drawing for myself, I can try to, hammer down doing those things faster. So most, if not all, today is just going to be me looking at poses, trying to observe those poses and recreate them. So, and then we will go right into something else that I have hinted at for more than enough times that I can count on wanting to do. And we're finally doing it today. So yeah, I'm not going to elaborate too much until we get to that point, but all I will say is that for the girlies in that, onna no ko, onna tachi yo, this is for y'all. All right, let's get into it. I think my have warmed up enough. All right, but please also, once again, let me know if there are any audio discrepancies, especially connection discrepancies. So I have made an effort to put a temporary fix on stuff after yesterday's fiasco of my stream cutting out midway on Twitch. The YouTube VOD ended up turning out fine, so I posted that for anybody who wants to watch the full thing without interruption. But I just felt, whatever with the Twitch stuff, so I just posted the first part and the second part of the full stream, before and after it got cut as a part 1, part 2. So the VOD is kind of like there for that stream, or VODs. So in order to temporarily patch this up until I find a more permanent fix, I've just been adjusting with the bitrate, and so much so forth. I guess from what I'm seeing right now, I don't see any big drops or changes. Right at this moment, everything seems to be okay, but please do let me know if there are any other unfortunate discrepancies. And especially with audio, please tell me if the music is a little bit too loud, both either on the YouTube if you want to watch on the YouTube or on the Twitch. Whether my voice being louder than or too soft, actually, then you can. I might not even be speaking too much during this segment of the stream, but please tell me if things are too loud or too soft for you guys to hear. So yeah. All right. So the way that I've worked this out, my setup is actually really, really janky in my opinion. So what I'm planning to do, so for those who need a resource for drawing poses, and this is the resource I'm going to be using as reference to, trying to practice right now, I'm going to be using Pose Maniacs, and I'm going to be picking a series of different poses that range from probably easy for me to maybe a little bit harder, something that will eventually be out of my comfort zone. They're not pre-selected. I'm just gonna look at whatever selection I have on the site and just go with, I can try this out, and I will display them here. So yeah, all right. So this should be the first one that I selected right here. You guys can see that. And I'm going to be trying my best. I have notes from the video I took that I have on my screen that you guys can't see. These are from a paid view. I'll just put it that way. So that's why these notes are mostly for me. But if you guys are interested in which kind of videos I'm watching / classes, I will. I'll let you guys know, maybe near the end or in between. But yes, this thing. But yeah, please let me know if there's anything you guys are finding funny with the stream, and I will try my best to fix it. At all. Okay, all right, hotkeys are working fine. But yeah, so for starters, the class I've been it's not really a live class. For those of you who have seen it around or seen advertisement for it, I've been taking classes I purchased off of Colosso. And this is not sponsored, by the way. I just thought, because I know a bunch of artists who I look up to, who I have been extremely impressed with their style and their techniques, posting classes on Colossal or like, you know, class packages. So I got a few from people I've seen around posting things on Twitter. So what I'm going to be hopefully trying to apply here is those concepts that I've been learning from like one of the artists that I've been watching. And I will drop the name of the classes probably in segments. Let me try to sub online so I can see better. So since I'm gonna be mostly looking at this, I'll try to like look at chat, but also at the same time it's gonna be, I have a lot going on my screen right now, so I do apologize if I'm not able to respond in time. Okay, let's figure out how to break this down here. So I know for starters, try to find a line of action. It's kind of, oh, I'm too so pixely. Thought I was able. Let me move this over. Some stuff. Let's see, so it's gonna be it's like this. And once again, for emphasis, guys, for those who joined a little bit late, the point of what I'm doing right now is mostly just to hammer in stuff I've learned. This is not, you know, the purpose isn't to try to, like, for now, speed up my drawing process. It's more just hammering the fundamentals and how to apply them, and then at some point, I will try back into with the regular purpose of drawing would just me learning faster and applying those concepts faster. There we go. Right now, the point of what I'm doing right now is just for me is learning how to break down the pose that I put up here to the corner. Okay, let me have that there. So let me. So see that one. So it's like almost. Okay. Typical. Distance to. Typically, it's supposed to be. Alright, so this left leg, it's like toe. Pointing out there. Just because this is not distant. Hence the proportion thing I've talked to you guys about, how I just don't do well when it comes to proportions of things. Hence why I'm making it that now. And then I'm pretty sure, so the way that this leg is right, it's gold. So it's definitely a kind of gold style. Let me use like it's roughly about that. Here for the full. This one should be a little bit more. It's almost this side a little bit here. Right. Then there's so much going on in this one. Maybe I'm a little bit regretting picking this one, frankly. I'm still a little bit put off by the way that this is looking. It's not really what I want, but make do, you know? So let's try to break, let me remember, break down basic shapes. I'm overcomplicating. That's a bad habit. It was a little bit. A bit more. I think. I still think the proportions look off. I don't know. Maybe. Like it's a little bit hard because I tried to pick like a pose that has like the least amount of foreshortening on it, because I'm trying to find more of like something like still, but like even then it's just I'm a little bit unsatisfied with how this one turned out. But this is the first one. Nothing to get too frustrated over. Either way, I think the most part that I do like is just how at least the torso turned out for me. Like, at the very least, this whole portion I think turned out pretty well. This notes for myself is just so leg proportions, I feel like they're like it's kind of equidistant, but it really isn't. You guys, like one definitely feels like it. I think it's because of like I'm taking in foreshortening concepts when I'm not too familiar with foreshortening concepts. That's why it kind of looks like that, but I don't think it should. It just still looks a little bit off to me, but we're gonna keep trying. Otherwise, again, the one thing I will take out of this is I do like the way that I was able to break down the torso. Just a tad bit. It mimics it a little bit. I definitely need to work through just making this smaller. So just let me use like a here. That's not any better. That's not any better. Here we go. Something like this. Side. Small. At least that's how I'm thinking of like equalizing this, honestly. Otherwise, yeah, I still like the way that the torso turned out. Leg proportions not as good as I would like it to be. But we're gonna keep trying. We're gonna try a different pose this time. All right. This one, maybe. Oh, actually, while I pick another one, guys, I'll be right. I'm gonna go grab. It's just so cold. Let me also grab some water. Okay. Alrighty. So pick this pose now. Something that's not gonna throw me off kilter. I still think. This one. I think this one should be okay. Yeah, let's put color just to give myself a differentiation around the lines here. All right, next one. All right. So I think let me zoom this in a little for you guys to see. If you guys want to practice with me or whatnot. Let's see here. Okay. The way that this is looking, starting right. Distinction. Wait, no, I'm top torso doesn't. be around. Jeez. Okay. I drew this differently. I think I... Oh my gosh. Okay. Let's... It's supposed to be this way instead. I should have emphasis. A right to left portion we're talking within perspective of so. And there is more support. Okay, there's actually a little bit more for sure. This one. It's fine though. This one. I feel like I'm making the torso a little bit too. So, he's from seeing are just this one. I've done. Zoom out here. Direction on this one would or so. In this case, turned out too long. I need to remember the, so it would rather be up here. Maybe. Otherwise, legs are like okay, and I think it's a perspective thing also. I just can't do it right. Like I think I was trying to be a little bit more mindful of like proportions in comparison to this one. anything I really did like about this though, I think at least for the good part, at least I was able to fix the clavicle shape and the clavicle direction. I don't know, my attention to detail is like literally bugs me a little bit. This is like 2 poses so far. Okay, alright. To take a pause on the drawing bit and just kind of, at least for myself. Also, let me just pose out of the way, the model out of the way. From what I'm seeing for myself so far, I'm still a little bit all over the place. Like, the first pose, I think I did rather well with minding the areas in which, you know, body parts are placed on the torso and the general proportion of the torso. But at the same time, I'm like, the second one, it could have been better. It could have been much better. I think I overemphasized stuff too much here, and also because the model itself is rather flat, and I'm like, I've learned proportions more for like curvier models, so it's a little bit but I think the general direction of what I'm like so far is just how, at least we're seeing here, the direction of things is going. Like, if I have to pull up, well, the line of action here. The line of action, when you're comparing this, what I've drawn, there should have been, well, it's a little bit abrupt, because the way that I look at it would just be going from here. So I think I was in the right move here. This one is kind of like an outward link. Should have been popping out the side. I didn't want to overlap it, so that's just me. So from just these 2 poses alone, I would, let me also be mine here. Okay. Line. Line of action. Action. For one, because I noticed that I still tend to maybe zoning too much to one particular portion of the pose, or just the body, and it's screwing with my overall perception. I'm still seeing the individual trees and not the forest. If that's the, was that the correct way the metaphor went? You see, well, the correct metaphor is supposed to be like you see the forest for the trees. I think. Chad, am I right? Is it? Do you see the forest for the trees, or am I mixing up the 2 nouns here? But yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm just overly conscious of the details still. I need to zoom out a little bit more, and I feel like I'm a little bit more constrained here because I'm a little bit of going too, I'm a little bit afraid of going a little bit too crazy and then throwing off the entirety of like the pose in itself. And I think maybe I should be so when it comes to that. So we're gonna try that with the next couple here, and you know, see if actually, be mindful of the action. Less String. In poses. I think yes. I think that's a good way to put it. All right. Let me try to look for the next pose here. Thing. Something where I can see everything. So maybe something like this, honestly. Let me change the direction of this a little bit so it's a little bit more flat. Because I want to just grab the a flat look of the pose, so where the torso is facing towards the camera. Okay, yeah, something like this. All right, so we're gonna try for this. Line of action definitely is just gonna be something overall. Let me grab so right here, right? I have a line of action. Obviously, just it's going down, and I think I'd like to think maybe or something, but ugh. Let me not think too hard on that. Let me not think too hard on that. I might end up going inadvertently a little bit crazy with that. Just we see from just going from the head down to the left leg. Anything in the direction it's here. I was direction. Oh, that would be my right leg. All right, so the right leg is planted like flat down, so we see like the overall direction is just there's emphasis on here, but then we know for sure that the left leg is poised upward and kind of like an acute angle. Same for the arms. So we're gonna try. I'm going to try and see if I can do something with that. Okay. All right. Let's try this. How's the stream? Also, how's? Ooh, what was that sudden spike? Jeez. Okay. CPU size spiked, and I was like so afraid when I checked. It's like, okay. All right. Let's. Yeah, chat, please let me know if something happens to stream again. I can't with all this. Okay. So if I had to go by the head, so in this case, the clavicles are moving a little bit upward. Clavicles are moving a little bit upward because the arms themselves, as we can see, are poised in a right. So the chest is basically facing towards us. So let's see. Yeah, this one is moving a little bit up because this arm is a little bit more. I gotta remember. So here I would say for the head. No. Here and then. Yeah, right. So the clavicle I remember. That's sternum? I think that's sternum. I might be. Oh, let me check again. It is. It's like roughly around where the sternum. Okay. So like this area is like right below the sternum. I'm trying to imagine drawing in the way. I think oh, it. But that's just the oh, this is a male. Less emphasis on the hips. Right, I think this is where I forget and I end up putting pelvis a little bit compared compared to the model, so hence why. There's a bit of a twist though. Let me end. That oh, almost equidistant arms, I think. Yeah, I moved the pelvis a little bit. Okay, and I didn't even do the legs. Dang, I did. Wrong layer. Ah! I was like, oop, wrong layer. Makes sense. Let me not erase. It's gonna be. Equidistant. So this is 45. So almost like this, I would say. And a little bit. Okay, I don't think this one turned out as bad. I actually do kind of like where I at least was paying attention to the. So if I had to trace over a little bit with what I was doing. Ignore it. But like kind of like just generally though. I like how this turned out. I think I was able to grasp more of the pose on this one than I did the other two. Wow, okay, cool. So, point of note to myself on this one. Oh, I'll let your here. So, big point here, I need to remember is to not over estimate distance of elements from button. Because as you can see between like the pink line and the purple line here, they're even distinguishable to you guys. Like I at first overshot the length of the pelvis, I guess because I inadvertently ended up thinking I was using like the line of action as like a measuring reference, which I shouldn't be. So yeah, this one I definitely like a lot better. After I managed to fix that, so like now like the pelvis is a little bit more further upwards. Like belly button can be like right over here, but like generally I like what I was doing here. Like everything in general, like generally if we looked at this from a further perspective, like a outward perspective, even more. Oh my god, so yeah. Oh, here we go. And compare it. Like I like whether it was turned. I like it. I like it a lot. It actually followed a little bit more, especially with the leg and the distance. Well, for one, for sure, I think I could just this over here, the right leg, could have made the second part longer. I think I was being too self-conscious of the equidistance between the thigh and the calf area, so I didn't make it as long as I could be, but then it could have been longer. But otherwise, the poised up on the right leg I like, because especially since I thought about actually like, you know, doing the acute triangle look on this one so that I can get a better understanding of how the pose over in the model was done. And then same for the arms, the way that the arms are posed. Could have been looser on this one, but at the same time it generally captures what was going on in the pose. So for the most part, I'm not super dissatisfied with it. I think it actually looks a little bit better than what I had initially intended. So yes, this one could have been just next time around. Let me see. Where are we with time? I think we can probably get one more in. So far we've done like 3 different poses, and I think I've learned a bit, a little bit more with just doing this. So I'm gonna try to do one more pose. Thank you, Shika. Thank you. Yeah, we're gonna try to do one more pose, and then we're gonna move into the next set. I'll put a be right back screen too as we move into that point, and then we'll finally do the thing that I've been wanting for a while. Thank you. All right, let's go with one more pose then. Something maybe a little bit more challenging, I guess. Just because as much as I'm a little bit uncomfortable with it, you know, the more challenges, the better to learn from it. No. I don't want something super wacky though. This one actually doesn't look bad. Okay, this one I can probably do. So let me also face it a little bit more, so it's, again, a little bit more flat, I want to say, to the camera. All right, so we're gonna try this now, being mindful of what I've so far. It's an archer's pose. So okay. All right. I have to also start being consistent with color palettes I use, because I'm just like all over the place with like where I'm like using my color schemes. So let's go with the same like dark navy blue that I'm using earlier as a base, and then use other colors for different areas or other here. Kind of leaning at a bit of an arch here, almost. So then, with that being said, okay, it's the line of action. Do not use the line of action as a base. Let me move this onto a different layer for myself. Here, we're going to. This is the line of action. So then I'm going to lower the opacity on that, and then just so we can get a better understanding. We're almost widening. At least the chest feels like it's perspective. So are all just like this in a way. So That's about right. Here's a different. Okay, and I'm gonna lower. Oh, thank you, Shiku. Hold on. You're right. Let me hydrate real quick. Ah. Alright, hold up. Let me drink some water. Alright, water drink. Alright, thank you, Shigi, for the reminder. Alright. Back to the pose. So, tension of what we're this one. Second. Let's pose. Too light. I think this should have been bad. Okay, I think this one also turned out pretty good. Not gonna lie. Generally, the line of action is pretty alright. I was a little bit more mindful again of both trying to keep things equidistant a little bit. This turned out a lot better than I thought. okay, definitely. Okay, for notes though, for myself, the chest protrusion, or as you can see from the pose, there's more broader shape from like the chest kind of like inflating outwards a little bit from like having to pull the clavicles and pulling the shoulders back, especially if you're trying to do a pose where you're shooting a bow, an arrow upwards, or shooting a bow with an arrow upwards. And I feel like at least the alignment too here, like right here, this whole alignment, this one could have been lower, just so we can have like a straight like line look right here, if you guys get what I mean, right? So not I want to say fix is too much for me. It's more of just a slight adjustment. Yeah, but otherwise the direction here for the pose I think is good. It's just like how we're supposed to have it anyway. And then I like the leg and how it looks, the right leg and how it looks, because it's generally doing what, or it vaguely mimics what is supposed to be. Well, same for the right leg actually. I was gonna say I have my qualms with just about how this whole thing looks here, but generally, like, it looks pretty decent. This is generally something I would need to work more on, but I guess by the second pose too. This is like 2 for 2. So 2 poses that I'm less satisfied with overall, but like 2 other poses that I feel like did pretty well. Thank you, Shiku. Thank you. I like this I really like this kind of stream. Thank you. Yeah, like if you guys like doing this kind of content, I'll do more of it in the future, but generally this is both for my own self learning as well. And if you guys also we're following along or like it too, great actually. Thank you. I'm very happy that this was very educational for you guys as well. Thank you, Dash. And like if this has helped you guys gain better insight of just maybe what to look for, at least if you're taking my opinions and how I'm kind of like yammering away the way that I do. But yeah, generally I tend to do yap a lot, especially when it comes to these type of things, I want to say, but also just I have a lot of self-critique with myself, so to my own detriment, I am a little bit harsh on myself, so that's why I tend to have like a couple of notes on like what I try to do. And I've seen a lot of other people do much more detailed notes about like what they could have done better in certain drawings and stuff. Like one person I really do look up to a lot, their name is Peacock, especially when it comes to their own I guess self-analysis on their own works. I try to do the same, to be a little bit more less biased on the negative spectrum, but not too critical, but you know, not too super objective. We love a yap. Thank you, Dodge. Thank you. But yeah, generally that's what I want to do, and I think this has helped me gain some better insight as to how I should perform things. Yeah, like I'm definitely gonna probably do more just until I hone down and I feel like I've got a hang of like what to do, and then I might go into doing or adding like extra drawing streams just to try to hammer in what I already know, what I think is good, some good habits, and then doing those faster to expedite workflow. Sure. always good to point out a little bit, said Jess. Exactly. And it's a weird but also hard, like, juggling act of not being super self-critical, because if I'm super self-critical, I'm not gonna have any motivation to keep on learning, but just enough so that I'm not like, hey, try to do this thing better a little bit, so on and so forth. This could be done a little bit better, but also why I was trying to point out some of the things I liked about what I did first time around, and just making sure to incorporate that for any poses that I was doing. But yes, let me remove pose now to get a good overview of what we're doing here. So yeah, 4 poses, and this was like a whole hour and minutes. And it's only 4 poses. I feel like I could have done more, but that's not what I want the full stream to be, because I did say I wanted to do something else. But if you guys do like this kind of thing, I will try to do more in the future. It's especially something I do want to do anyway in the future for my own, again, self-learning, self-improvement. And again, if this has been extremely helpful for you guys as well, and if you guys, you know, we're also following along, you know, yeah, if it's beneficial for you guys too, it's great. So yeah, I will try to do more of these in the future, especially since it looks like for many of you guys it's also been full overall. Yeah. Yeah, 4 poses though, I think it's pretty good. I think next time around I'm gonna try to aim to like 6 poses to get more variation in. Especially doing better with like female poses. I noticed that with male poses it was a little bit easier because I don't have to be so super attentive about like the curve of like hips and waist and like chest on the torso in comparison, but that's something I also want to try to be up to, especially. So yeah. All right, that being said, let me save this. All right, I'm gonna hit the be right back screen, and then we're gonna go into the thing I've been wanting to do for a while. It might take a bit though because I have to readjust all of my janky setup here, but I will be right back. In the meantime, everyone, do some stretches, get some stretches in, take a small 5-minute walk, get something to eat, snack, hydrate. Chiku just reminded me to hydrate earlier. I'm gonna hydrate again in a bit. But yeah, gonna be maybe 10-15 minutes, just maybe 10-15 minutes ish, maybe a little bit less. yeah, I will. Thank you, Dodge. I will stretch. I will take some time as well to maybe munch on a snack or two, and then we'll be back in like 10-15 minutes ish with the second part of the stream. All right, everybody. I was really about to say bye. Not bye yet. We're not going yet. We still got more that I planned to do today. So I'm gonna move to the be right back, and I will be right back in a bit. All right, guys. All right, see you guys in a bit. Ha! Was that 20 minutes? I don't know. But yes, I'm back. I ate a little bit. Not really. I just chips. Uh, drink some agua. Uh, oh yeah, and did a couple side chores here and there. Oh yeah, I'm back. I'm back. I'm back. All right. time to get into the segment that we've all been waiting for. But beforehand, I almost forgot to put it here, and I should. Where is? Get up a little bit here. Oh, this is not the right one. Okay. This should be the correct one here. All right. So I did mention a little bit at the end of like the art segment that there was a site that I've been using. It's a paid content site though for hello, yes, for those wondering. But it's not a necessity, and I would not implore that it is extremely necessary to use this resource if you do not have the financial capacity at the moment to afford it. But I do think it is a very helpful resource for those that want to use it when it comes to learning art and learning fundamentals, or just learning from other artists outside of just YouTube. So the site that I mentioned a little while back that I did say that I was using to learn a lot of like my fundamentals again is called Colosso. People may have or may not have heard of it. There are definitely a lot of ads that come up around it if you've seen them around. I'm gonna post a link in the chat here, but it's generally a learning site, and a lot of artists that I generally follow have posted classes to the site. Obviously they are paid, but a lot of them help me, at least thus far, have when it comes to going over fundamentals like values, perspective, anatomy, composition, and even towards like advanced techniques like coloring, texture, and all of that. Generally very, 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 very helpful. And I've been meaning to explore more of the videos, and I've been actually just slowly going through the ones that I already have. And this is more, I speak on a optional resource. Yeah, that's the right word here. This is more of an additional optional resource for those of you guys that do want to, use it and afford to use it, because again, it is a paid resource. But I think it's also generally very, very worth it, especially getting a bunch of insight from how different artists learn and apply things to their own works, especially people who you look up to, who you might have seen around, who you admire. But yes, here's the site, Colosso. This is not sponsored, by the way, definitely not sponsored, but I have seen it around enough, and I've spent, I feel like, enough time and enough on here to say that it is very much a helpful resource. This is not to diminish the usefulness of resources that are freely available, like whether you're going through various Twitter threads that artists put out there, even Clip Studio Paint having their own free resource pages for people who generally, carry out drawing certain fundamentals. Even YouTube, especially YouTube videos. I would heavily recommend exhausting all free and available resources that are out there for people who generally still want to draw and are not on the AI slop biz, because we fucking hate AI art here, by the way. If it hasn't been obvious, we absolutely despise it here. So for those who generally still very much want to learn how to draw on your own, who want to participate, want to get into drawing your own artwork and everything, this is just one of many other resources that are available when it comes to learning art. And again, not to diminish, again, the free resources that are already out there. Those are just as helpful, if not have been extremely helpful for me, whether it's learning how to draw, heck, learning how to rig a live 2D model. Those free resources have been absolutely valuable to my own experiences and my own learning journey. But if you do want to and can afford to check out and try these classes, I would recommend this site if you want to look for a paid resource. There we go. Try to look for a paid resource. There's plenty of different artists that have been popping up in terms of like posting their own classes and their own lessons on here. So yeah, please check it out if you have the time and again money to afford it. But I do generally think it's worth it if you want to expand upon the current realm of resources that you have available to you right now. So yeah, that that's my little yap about that. And this is not sponsored, by the way. It definitely is not sponsored. I'm not sponsored at all. Heck, I'm not even up to affiliate to think I can afford a sponsorship. So yeah, but this is just to kind of chill out that like this is just one of the many resources that I personally use in order to learn and better improve my own art. Okay, but yeah, now we can move on to the next segment of what I wanted to do today. And I have been wanting to do for the past year? Year more? Okay. So you see that there's a blank screen right here, obviously. And I fucking forgot to write down the rules of what I want of how I want to do this. I it's in my head. I just didn't write it down. So I'm gonna explain that to everybody here in a bit. So without further ado, let me change the screen a little bit here to pop up what it is I want to do. Okay. Drum roll, please. I don't have the drum roll audio. That was awkward. Okay, I'm just gonna screen. Bam. Yes. So what we are going to do now, we are going to do what I call a roulette for games. What kind of games specifically? Otome games that I have mass collected and have put into my backlog for eons now that I have yet to get through. So that's why I mentioned there's been so much about getting through the backlog of stuff. And what do I mean by backlog outside of the numerous other JRPG RPG games that I have on Steam? I mean that by the visual novels / Otome games that I have. So what I'm planning to do, I have a list of games that I generally do feel more drawn to play at this moment, listed on here on this very, very nice and pretty wheel. We're going to spin the wheel, and we, whatever the wheel lands on, we are going to play. Now, the caveat here is obviously these games are visual novels, and so the whole crux of this game is the storytelling concept. Yeah, exactly that. Spin the wheel. Because of that, I am not going to likely play the full game on stream, obviously. So this is the finer points that I did want to make clear, that whatever game that we decide to play, I'm only going to play up to maybe the first 2-3 chapters. And this is because if I like the story, I'm going to personally continue it on my off time, off stream. And if you guys like it too, hey, this is a way to kind of like, advertise the game to you guys without spoiling the full thing. So, yeah, if you like the game, please, I heavily encourage you guys to purchase it if you like it. These are all visual novels, by the way, so this is going to be very, very story oriented. And because it's story oriented, like I said, it is not going to be likely that I'm going to stream these, because spoiling it means, just ruining the game experience, in my opinion, for everybody else. Depending on also, streaming guidelines and all that, which have never been really clear when it comes to Otome games after trying to do my due diligence and do research. Yeah, it's better, and I feel like on the safer option for me to just stream the first 2-3 chapters of these games, so that we're still within the prologue. I do not think, hopefully not, obviously that'd be like a short ass game. But I do not think we're gonna get up to the point of like getting to anybody's routes, personally. So that being said, again, whatever game the wheel lands on, we are only going to go up to the first 2-3 chapters, and afterwards, if there's still more time, we're going to spin the wheel again and go to the next game, and so on and so forth until I decide to end the stream. So yes, that is what we plan to do today, and that's what I've been planning to do for a while because I wanted to get through the backlog and figure out which game I actually wanted to play. And this might be kind of the killing two birds with one stone. This is me starting a bunch of games, though. Now I'm gonna just have like games in the backlog, which I played, but I haven't finished yet. So but I'll have games that I've moved from not playing into I am playing. I just haven't finished it yet. There you go. Okay, so what games do we have listed here? So as you can see on the right hand side, there is the list of games that I am currently a little bit more interested in drawn to play at the moment. There's a bunch more that I have not listed here for time reasons and just because streaming guideline things, I'm not too clear on those, and I don't want to kind of like play the risk on it. I'm already playing a bit of a risk with some of these other games I have on here. So we're just gonna go with these handful of games and see how it goes, and if it goes well enough, I'll do this again in the future for games we haven't covered in this segment, or other games that I have. But yes, like I was saying, to go over the games that we currently have on the list: Variable Barricade, Virtue Evermore, which I've heard absolutely great things about, and I've been meaning to start it. I just never got to it. So, Virtue Evermore, Tengoku Struggle. I've also seen prior to its English localization. So yeah, that's one other thing. Jack-Jan, Cupid Parasite, which I've been wanting to start for a while as well. Cafe Enchanté, which I'm hoping, I'm praying, I'm believing, hopefully, that they're gonna have a fan disc sequel out soon for that. So, fingers crossed. Radiant Tale and Pio Fiore no Bancho. So, yes, most of these are, if not all, like my games. So yeah, I've talked about my likeness and my fondness for Otome games before, and this is my way of showing it. And for the girlies out here who have been interested, girlies who are watching me, if you're there, this is me kind of just wanting to do a little bit of stuff that I want to do and doing things that I like to do. And if you like the same, then I'm happy. I'm really grateful. All right, and I have to remember to change the game on the stream once we get to that point. All right, that's a lot of yapping. So key points again: spin the wheel. We play 2 to 3 chapters of whatever game the wheel lands on, and then afterwards we spin the wheel again to pick out whichever game we do next until I decide to end stream. And for the rest of the game, depending on streaming guidelines and whatnot, I will play them off stream on my own time. And if you guys personally like the games as well and do find them interesting, please purchase the games and play them. They are very, very interesting, as far as I'm aware. So we're gonna go ahead with that. All right, now that's enough yapping. Okay, it's time to actually spin the wheel. Are we ready, chat, to dive into the realm of Otome games? Let's go! Alright, let's spin the wheel to see what this lands on first, and then you're gonna hear me struggle to get the game cartridge in and pull the game up. Oh yeah, let me also right, I wanted to do this. There we go. Let me also get my Switch running, because these are all Switch games, by the way. I have Otome games on Steam, but like I think it's just easier for me to just do it off of the Switch games that I have, because I have a bunch more on there than you guys realize. Okay. All right, let me spin the wheel here. Let's go. What does it land on first? Oh, we're going Pio. No, we're not. Variable Barricade. Variable. Okay, guys, we are playing Variable Barricade. Let me get the game. All right. So that's gonna be the first game that we're trying. To To read the synopsis of the game, I guess, from the back. So, a member of a prestigious family and sole heir to a fortune, Hibari learns that her eccentric grandfather is determined to find her a husband. He arranges to house her in a luxurious vacation home along with 4 handsome men, hand-picked bachelors, and a private butler. As her suitors try to win her hand by any means necessary, Hibari endures endless everyday trials and temptations. Has her grandpa chosen poorly, or could there be more to these fellows than first meets the eye? Through all of this, Hibari has 2 important goals. Frighten off each marriage candidate and absolutely refuse to fall in love. So, a reverse harem trope, but we have a heroine that just doesn't want it. So, you know, we're gonna see how this goes. All right, let me mute myself real quick first to drink some water after yapping for that long, and also just to change the game cartridge. All right, let me do that. Okay, all right. Let me now switch this over. Maybe I should put this underneath. All right. All right, now here we go. Ugh. Oh, oops. Okay, so that one doesn't. All right, that's the audio there. Okay, there we go. All right, let's go. And let me change the game category now. All right, let's start the game.
Variable barricade, new stage.
I forgot what some of those are. Oh, open. I don't know what that is. So we're just gonna start the game and. Yeah. I forgot the story. Mikazuki. Okay. You already told you. Okay. We're gonna keep default name because I'm not really big on being a Yume Joshi. Well, I'm not big in self-inserts, so I like to keep the protagonist's name by default. So we're just gonna that. Yes.
裕福な家柄の一人娘は常により良い条件の婿を探している。これはおそらく普遍的な真理だろうし、事実私もそう思っていた。つまり政財界に多大な影響力を持つ我が東条家に直系の子は私しかいない現状。いずれ私が条件に見合った男性を婿に取り、この家を継ぐのだろうことは必然。そのことに不満はなかったし、私なりに納得してもいた。けれど、それが。
Oh yeah, I forgot the protagonist is voiced here.
どうしてこうなった？
Did they mention her name in the beginning already? Dang it. Alright. September 1st, 7 a.m. The Tojo family estate.
失礼いたします。おはようございます、ひばり様。
おはよう。
Oh wait, let me... let me look at the options here. The voices are at max volume. The heck? Okay. Turn the BGM up a little bit here. I forget how autoplay. Oh, here it is. Here are the toggles. Skip, manual, quick save, auto advance. Okay, right. Okay. Yes.
おカバンはこちらに置かせていただきます。他に必要なものはございますか？
いえ、大丈夫よ。ありがとう。
I had some extra materials to take with me to school, likely because it was first day of a new semester. Glancing sidelong at the pile, I nonchalantly asked the servant a question.
ねえ、春日はどこかしら？
お車の用意をしております。じきにこちらに参りますよ、お嬢様。
Why are the voices so low? It's like at max, but I feel like it could be louder. Okay. Maybe, you know what, let me lower these, and then I'm gonna turn up the volume on our side again. Please let me know if it gets a little bit too loud for you guys too. Go. No. I thought I heard a hint of indulgent patience in his voice, like an adult reassuring a petulant child. His pleasant gaze made me feel a little awkward, so I casually looked away.
ならいいの。もう下がっていいわよ。
かしこまりました。では、失礼させていただきます。
How long does he intend to make me wait after? Oh, guys. I need to look at the buttons. Oh my god, I don't know what options are what. So toggle read all. This auto advance main menu is X. Log. Okay, left triggers logs. Is it? I can't see the frick.
君好みに変えてほしいな。
They're like left. Do I have to put the? Oh gosh. Okay. Got it. Also, I'm kind of curious what status
女の子はデリケートだからな。
Interesting. I tamped down the urge to snap "You're late" and kept my expression calm
おはよ
as
う
I
ござい
agreed.
ます。ひばり様。すっかり準備はお済みのようですね。
ええ、もう時間？
いえ、まだ少し余裕はありますが。いつもより張り切っておられますね。新学期が始まってご友人と会われるのがそんなに楽しみですか？
別にそういうわけじゃ。
なるほど。ではそうですか。私は思っていた以上に ひばり様に愛されていたのですね。
Is this a childhood friend thing?
登校前のわずかな間とはいえ、この春日と話す時間を作ってくださったとは大変感激でございます。
うぬぼれないで。支度が早く終わったのはたまたまよ。たまたま。
おや、そうでしたか。それは失礼をいたしました。
What's with that smug know-it-all look? Why am I so upset, you ask? Well, my problem started right before the beginning of summer vacation.
留学ってどういうこと？
はい。イギリスの執事専門学校で
What,
よ
like?
り専門的
Is that
な
what
知
it
識を
is?
学びたく。
あなたが？今さら？もう8年近く私の専属執事をしてるのに？
だからこそですよ。ひばり様が成人なさる前に私もスキルアップしておきませんと。
私は別に今のままでも。
大変嬉しいお言葉ですが、私も若輩の身、周りの目もございます。箔があって困ることはありません。短期集中講座ですから、ちょうど夏休みの丸1ヶ月ほど留守にさせていただきます。そういうわけで夏休みのバカンスにはご一緒できませんが、不自由がないよう全て整えておきますので。
あなたが行かないなら私も行かない。
あまりわがままをおっしゃらないでください。ひばり様のバカンスに合わせて暇を取る使用人たちもいるのですよ。ご理解いただけますね。
はい。以外の答えは認めないくせに。
何か？
わかったわよ。
Ah, so she's still to an extent pretty pampered. Okay, okay. Thanks to him informing me of his imminent departure only after it was a done deal, I spent my summer vacation almost entirely alone. Just thinking about it made me want to grind my teeth. If I didn't do something to vent my irritation, I was sure I would pop. I fixed Kasuga with what I hoped was a withering glare and said,
あなたが不在の間、とても不便な思いをしたのよ。
はい。大変申し訳ございませんでした。
なかなか連絡もつかなかったし、そのくせ私の事情はなぜか筒抜けだったみたいだけど。
何かと立て込んでおりまして、せめてひばり様のご様子だけでも把握しておかなければ不安でしたから。
やっと帰ってきたと思ったら、よりによって夏休み最終日の夜遅く、顔を合わせてすぐ寝る時間だなんて。
ひばり様の睡眠時間を確保するのは最優先事項ですので。
睡眠時間なんかよりも気持ちの方を優先してほしかったな。
Wait, so does she actually like Kasuga? Ooh. Venting my irritation left me too exhausted to give voice to my innermost thoughts. Wait. So is it do we actually have like kind of a scenario with almost like unrequited love? Kasuga had been my personal butler for 8 years. His trip to England marked the longest span of time the two of us had ever been separated. Ah, I wish that someone had taken that small fact into
お寂しい
consideration.
思いをさせてしまい、本当に申し訳ございませんでした。戻ったからには一刻も早くひばり様のお役に立てるようにと気がせいてしまい、現状確認に努めておりまして。いえ、すべて言い訳ですね。今後はより一層精進してまいります。どうかお許しください。
Kasuga stood there waiting for me to say something. Shaming him further would simply be cruel. He did go off to study for my sake after all.
戻ってきたからにはこれまで以上に働いてもらうんだから。わかった？
もちろんです。ひばり様のお世話は私の役目。誰にも譲ったりはいたしません。
なら
With things mended between us, Kasuga glanced at the time and then picked up my bags. Turning to me, he said,
ではそろそろ参りましょう。車の用意も整っておりますので。
I followed behind him, walking out the gates of the estate. Stopping, I turned to look behind me. Tojo family estate. In some circles, gaining permission to step across this threshold was a sign of prestige. But for me,
ひばり様。
今行きます。
despite being a woman, I was still the family's sole heir. There was no question my family cared for me. I was being raised well as both the daughter and the Tojo line's successor. My many servants treated me fondly. It wasn't as if I had no one I could rely on. And yet, inside that mansion, there was only one person I truly regarded as my steadfast ally, Kasuga. He quickly became dust when he was appointed as my butler 8 years prior. September 1st, 8 a.m., St. Agnes Academy for Girls.
それでは行ってらっしゃいませ。
ええ。ああ、春日。今日は始業式とホームルームだけで終わるのが早いから。
存じております。それとひばり様。いえ、何でもございません。新学期を迎える節目の日でございます。しっかりと気を引き締めてくださいね。
What is that supposed to mean, Kasuga? Hello? What on earth did he mean by that? That's what I want to ask. Before I could reply, he gave me a gentle push to send me on my way. Confused, I began to walk.
道場様がいらっしゃったわ。ひばり様、今日も素敵。
I could feel everyone's eyes stabbing into me. At St. Agnes Academy for Girls was well known as a private school attended primarily by the well-to-do. It was, in essence, a rich girls' school. Even among all of those wealthy students, the Tojo name was still powerful and influential. When others looked my way, I knew they saw not me, but my family.
しましょう。ご挨拶したらご迷惑かしら。大丈夫よ。一緒に頑張りましょう。そうよね。せーので行きますわよ。せーの。
That's serious,
ご
girlies.
きげんよう、ひばり様。ごきげんよう。声をかけていただいたわ。勇気を出してよかったですわね。
I low-key do want to see Hibari crossplay. Just, she seems like the type of like cool girl you could see actually work through like a like male ensemble outfit. This is so exhausting. Hello? Oh ho ho ho. Oh ho 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 ho. Who?
相変わらずモテモテですわね、ひばり様。
I was about to say, was there an Ojo-sama? This is Tsumugi Kano. She was the first friend I ever made, and before long she became my most treasured compatriot. Breathing a sigh of relief for the first time that day, I smiled and waved.
おはよう。久しぶり。おはようございます。お元気そうで何よりです。私にするようにみんなにも手を振って差し上げたらきっと喜ばれましたよ。できないし、やらない。私はそんなひばり様も大好きですけれど。
Alright, that's the end of the game, guys. The Yuri ship has sailed. That's it. That's the end of the game. Here we go.
さあ、教室へ参りましょう。ここにいるとさらに目立ってしまいますわ。
I nodded and Smokey and I walked into the building.
そうだわ、つむぎ。これお土産よ。大したものじゃないけど。嬉しい。ありがとうございます。私もお土産がありますのよ。いつもので恐縮ですけれど。 ありがとう。私はあまり京都には行かないし、ここのコンペイトーは大好きなの。嬉しい。それよりご実家の方はどうだった？相変わらず忙しかったんでしょ？
ええ、長期休みになるとここぞとばかりに働かされて困りますわ。仕方がないことですけれど。
こちらの学校に通うための条件とはいえ大変ね。
Tsuki came from a famous family of Ikebana masters, flower arrangers. Like me, she was an only child. She was already set to be the family's headmistress. Every summer and winter break, she had to return to her family home in Kyoto to undergo training and help with the family
お仕事
business.
自体は構いませんのよ。お花は好きですし、将来のために顔つなぎが必要なのは心得ておりますもの。けれど何が悲しいって、夏と冬の有明に行けないことですわ。私の生きがいですのに。
I let my eyes slide away from Tsumuki. She's such a normal girl, except for that hobby of hers. So what's the hobby? I won't say what it is, but I will say that her unusual pastime has put me in more than one awkward situation. We're good friends, excellent friends. That said, there are some lines you just don't cross.
あ、もう時間ですわね。また後でゆっくりお話しいたしましょう。
そうね。
Please don't let her bring up her hobby. Hoping against hope that I'd be able to avoid that uncomfortable topic a little longer, I took my seat. September 1st, 11 a.m., St. Agnes Academy for Girls. It seems noisier than usual.
ねえ、ひばり様。せっかくですから少し寄り道してランチをご一緒しません？
そうね。それより紬、正門のあたりが騒がしいようだけど。
あら、本当。何かあるのかしら。
ちょっと早く来て。めっちゃやばいの、早く。
引っ張らないで。一体何事？
正門のところに超イケメンがいるの。しかも4人も。
どなたかのお迎えかしら。それとも何かの撮影？
知らないけど、とにかく見に行こう。今なら紛れて写真撮れるかも。
Girlies, it's not that serious.
みんな興味津々のようですわね。ひばり様はいかがです？
分かってて聞いてるでしょ。もう。それより寄り道するなら春日に連絡を入れないと。
They sound like overexcited orangutans. I have no idea who these hot guys are, but I wish they would finish their business and disperse. I'm trying to leave and they are in my way. Maybe I should call Kasuga and just have him bring the car to the back gate instead. I was taking my phone out of my pocket to do exactly that when it happened.
もしかしてあれじゃないですか？
おお、間違いねえ
な。なんだか緊張するね。
準備は万端だ。さあ、姫君を迎えに行こう。
I recognize Shimonohiro and then I recognize Toriumi Kosuke.
ひばり様、あの方たちこちらに向かってきますわよ。
Tsumuki urgently tapped my shoulder. I looked up from my phone to see.
東條ひばりさん。
突然悪いね。
早速だけど
せーの。結婚してください。
プロポーズよ。
あの東條様に？ひばり様、これは一体。
Tsumuki was tugging on my sleeve, babbling something. I hardly noticed she was there. I was too stunned. I'm stunned to Hibari because what? 4 roses shoved directly in my face, 4 pairs of expectant eyes searing into me. A growing crowd of spectators chattering and blushing at the sudden spectacle. Everyone was waiting for me to respond. Oh, our first choice. Okay. Wait, there's more? Wait, I can take the roses too. Wait, what? That's a lot of choices for huh? Okay. Guys, you gotta understand. Usually it's like 4 choices, minimum 4, maybe like 3. There's like 6 different choices here, huh? Well, for continuity's sake, let's just what would fit her personality the best here? They have the wrong person, ignore them. Let's go call for Kasuga.
Kasuga!
I started to ask him what on earth all this commotion was about, but I quickly bit my tongue. He's not even here. Dang it!
なんでしたら春日さんを探してまいりましょうか。
結構よ。
The situation had seemingly left me far more flustered than I had initially thought. I quickly turned my head to hide a blush of shame.
まあとりあえず落ち着けよう。じゃあ言っとくけどこれ現実だから。
現実って。
His flippant tone hit me like a splash of cold water. Now was not the time to panic. I was dealing with unknown and very forward strangers. I needed to collect my dignity and deal with them firmly.
そもそもあなたたちは誰なんですか？なぜ私を知っているんですか？さっきのはたちの悪い冗談ですか？
待ってくれ。俺たちは
校内は関係者以外立ち入り禁止です。あなたたち許可は？
それは
落ち着いて順番にね。
あ、まずは俺から自己紹介を。
その必要はありません。
春日。
予想以上の混乱ぶりですね。だから私は反対したのですよ。
春日。ねえ、これはどういうこと？この人たちは一体。
大丈夫です、ビバリ様。まずはこの場を離脱いたしましょう。騒ぎが大きくなりすぎていますから。
Kasuga drew me to his side and began to walk. We hadn't taken 2 steps before one of the gentlemen spoke up.
おい春日、俺らはどうすんだよ。
こちらに向かう際に使った車で一度お戻りください。後のことは追ってご連絡いたします。
Does he know them?
さあ、ひばり様、こちらへ。
His hand on my back was firm and his tone broke no defiance. I twisted around to look behind me.
つむぎ、また明日。
どうかご無事で。
I barely grabbed a moment to say goodbye to Tsumugi before Kasuga led me to the waiting car and helped me inside. You know, I just thought about it, guys, but I think I might have underestimated just how long one chapter is. So let's go a few more and then I might switch over to a different game afterwards. Let's see how long this goes. September 1st, 1 p.m., Tojo Family Estate. An oppressive silence filled the car. No matter how many questions I asked, Kasuga simply said that he would explain later and refused to say another word. For some odd reason, he seemed even more put off about the sudden courtship rush than I was. It was frightening.
ひばり様。
はい。
申し訳ありませんが、本日はこのまま母屋に向かってください。
母屋？どういうこと？
大旦那様がお待ちです。
My personal residence was a smaller home located on the estate. I rarely ever visited the main house. Though we technically lived in the same place, I hadn't seen grandfather in quite some time. He still held firmly to his post as the head of the family despite his age. His days were very full, but more than that... What is that meddling old coot plotting this time? He and I simply did not see eye to eye. Ever.
久しいな、ひばり。相変わらず生意気そうな目をしておる。
お久しぶりです。おじい様こそ相変わらずの悪人顔で、子供が泣いて逃げ出しそうですね。
Jesus. The Hibari.
泣いて逃げた本人が言うか。
ええ、おかげさまで随分と鍛えられました。
Nervousness and sarcasm were wearingly familiar feelings that always accompanied an audience with grandfather. Couldn't afford to lose my focus for an instant. I stiffened my posture and took a deep breath, sealing myself as if for mortal combat.
それで、おじい様、本日はどのようなご用向きで？
そんなもの一つしかなかろう。どうじゃった？このわしが選んだ花婿候補たちは。
は？
好みの男はいたか？なかなかのイケメン揃いじゃったろう。誰でも好きなのを選ぶがよい。
The usual, you did not
くださ
consult
い。
with me on any of this.
それってまさか、あの不審者たち？
何を言うか。立派なお前の花婿候補たちじゃ。このわしが直々に選んだな。
I blinked, thinking that this must be what it felt like when someone was truly jaw-dropping. But I was only frozen with shock for a moment. Rage soon thawed the ice inside my body before it rushed out in a torrent of vitriol aimed at the vulture before me.
一体何を考えてるんですか？花婿候補？直々に選んだ？誰が？いつ頼みましたか？
ほう。どうやら不満のようじゃが、何が気に入らん？
すべてです。
子供の感触でもあるまいし。もっと具体的に申せ。
His dismissive attitude fanned my rage, but I reined in my fury with a deep breath. I must stay calm, I must be reasonable. I can't let grandfather control this conversation.
花婿候補などいりません。
東条を継ぐ者として、いずれは婿を取り、身を固める覚悟はあるものと思っておったが。
それは承知してます。でも、いくらなんでも早すぎます。私はまだ高校生です。
早すぎるということはあるまい。もっと幼くして許嫁を定められた者もおる。それに、お前の友人である紬さんにも婚約者がおるじゃろうが。
紬は紬と私は別です。
I felt a cold bead of sweat trickle down my spine. It was dirty of him to use Tsumugi against me.
まあよい。では、他には何が問題なのじゃ？
私にも選ぶ権利があります。
選べばよかろう。4人もおるのじゃから。
どこの誰とも知らない人をどのような基準で選べと？
何も即答せよとは言っておらん。まずはあの4人と交流を深め、吟味した上で決めればよかろ
う。なぜあの人たちなんですか？
逆に問うが、なぜあやつらでは嫌なのじゃ？
いきなり学校に押しかけてきて公開プロポーズなんてする人たちが良識ある男性だとは思えません。
Damn. She's digging in.
あれはわしがそそのかしたのじゃ。それにあれくらいせんとお前は逃げ回るだけじゃと思うてな。
おじい様。
事実、これまでは逃げ回ってきたじゃん。先ほどお前はまだ早いと申したが、見合いの話ならもう何度も来ておった。家柄も人柄も火の打ちどころのない者たちであったはずじゃが、写真すら見ずに断っておったそうじゃな。
そ れは事前におじい様にも確認したはずです。このお見合いは強制なのかと。そうしたら自由意志だとおっしゃるから。
確かにそう言った。そして断るからにはお前なりの理由があるのだろうとも思っておった。
もちろんあります。
おう、どんな理由じゃ。まだ早い以外に何がある。
ですから私は自分で。
お前が自分で結婚相手を探す。はっ、笑わせるでない小娘が。お前のどこにそんな解消があるのだ。
どういう意味ですか。
学校は女子校、遊び相手といえば紬さんだけ。パーティーには顔を見せる程度、声をかけてくる男には目もくれず。そんなお前が一体どこでどのようにして叱るべき男を見つけてくるというのか。できるものならやってみよう。逆難でも合コンでもよいぞ。ほれ、やってみよう。ほれほれ。
そんな下品なことできるわけないでしょ。
ではどうやって向こうを選ぶのだ。出会う機会もなければ出会う気もない。身近な男は春日だけのお前が。
だからそういうことを考えるのはせめて高校を卒業した後でも。
なんじゃ、大学デビュー狙いか。やめておけ。お前には無理じゃ。
どこで覚えたんですか、そんな言葉。別にそんなことするつもりはありません。
He really is sticking to his granddaughter like this. God damn.
今できぬことが急にできるようになるのか。それとも、ああ、そういうことか。白馬の王子様を待っておるのか。運命の出会いというやつじゃな。は、顔に似合わず乙女チックじゃのう。
はあ、顔は関係ないでしょ。
ひばり、現実逃避もほどほどにしておくがよい。痛いぞ。
I felt a vein in my temple start to. Wait. I felt a vein in my temple start to throb as I listened to his advice. I want to slap him right in his sneering
王子
face.
様を待つほど夢見がちではありませんし、現実逃避もしていませんが、少なくともおじい様が選んだ人とは結婚したくありません。まともな人だと思えないので。
ほう。では見合いを受けるか。
それはまた別の話でしょ。
ならばやはり合コンか。いや、逆なんか。
I mean, is it just a family tradition that she needs to be married in order
どうしてそうなるんです。
succeed?
時間は有限じゃぞ、ひばり。いかに東条の跡継ぎとはいえ、誰もがその肩書きになびくわけではない。家柄、財力、能力、条件は多々あろうが、より良い相手を選ぼうとすれば選択肢は限られてくるのが道理。そしてそれほど条件の良いものならば、どの家からも是非にと壊れるはず。いつまでも選ぶ余地があると思うな。お前が現実から目を背けている間にも、良縁は我先にと
And that's
結ば
when
れ
you
て
just
ゆくの
stay
じゃ。
single and succeed, baby. I balled my hands in my lap. I didn't like to admit it, but grandfather was right. I wasn't so stubborn that I refused to acknowledge
選
that.
ぶ余地があるうちに動け。それができぬならば受け入れよ。わしが言いたいのはそういうことじゃ。 わしが選んだ者たちが気に入らぬなら、お前のお眼鏡にかなった者をすぐにでも連れてくる。
So we can't just elevate Casca's like
それが
status here, right? And with that, grandfather stood to
お
leave.
じい様
Ugh, what a tyrant. My lips twisted into a frustrated frown. I thought I'd steeled myself for this inevitable day, but I suppose deep down a part of me still resisted. Grandfather must have noticed even when I hadn't. What am
お
I supposed
話
to
はお
do?
済みですか？
春日
失礼します。大旦那様が出てこられましたので、もうよろしいですか？
Seeing Casca's familiar face, a face I trusted more than anyone, caused the tension to lift from my shoulders.
疲れたもう部屋に戻る
いいえ、そういうわけには参りません。
What do you mean I can't go back to my
ど
room?
ういうことまだ何かあるの
本日よりひばり様のお部屋は、この東条本家にはございません。
They're kicking me out?
別邸を用意してありますので、これからそちらへご案内いたしま
I
す。
got kicked out of the house? Your body got kicked? Suffering another major shock so soon after the first left me without the energy to speak, all I could do was stare at Kasuga in helpless surprise. September 1st, 3 p.m., Tokyo Vacation Home. That is a fancy house, though.
お気に召しましたか、ひばり様。こちら、全3階建てとなっております。広さは本家とは比べ物になりませんが、不自由がない程度に設備も整えてあります。ひばり様には3階をご使用いただきます。こちらはひばり様と私、そして私が許可したハウスキーパーのみが立ち入れる空間です。
Those other four in Kasuga or die.
ひばり様のプライベートは完璧にお守りいたしますので、どうぞご安心ください。
春日
はい、
問題はそこじゃない
承知しておりますが、現実逃避は何の解決にもなりませんので。
Yes, I know that,
花
but...
婿候補たちの部屋は2階にまとめました。つまり1階が共有スペースとなります。
I thought so.
ルールを守り、健全かつ節度ある共同生活を。本日よりこの別邸での暮らしをお楽しみください。
そんなの楽しめるわけ。
すでにひばり様のお荷物はすべて運び入れてあります。さあ参りましょう。
春日
The door to my future opened with cold indifference. Kasuga asked me to follow him. He was essentially giving me a gentle push to a gaping maw of uncertainty.
ねえ春日すぐに私の部屋に案内して。先に着替えたいし、それに
I didn't want to see those men. Not yet. I wanted at least a few moments to mentally brace myself. Fate was not so kind. My simple wish was almost immediately denied.
やっぱりそうだ、ひばりさん。
There they
いらっ
are.
しゃい。じゃなくて、お帰りなさい。みんな待ってたんですよ。こっちこっち、早く来てください。もうさっきから石谷さんとタイガさんがうるさくって。
The man whose name I didn't even know reached out to take my hand like it was the most natural thing in the world. What am I supposed to do?
ひばりさん？
失礼ながらひばり様はまだ靴さえ脱いでおられませんので、皆様とリビングでお待ちください。
そっか、すいません。わかりました。じゃあ俺先行って待ってます。みんな、ひばりさんが帰ってきましたよ。
春日私やっぱり部屋に。
往生際が悪いですよ、ひばり様。
Crumbling under the pressure behind Kasuga's smile, I glumly slipped off my shoes and clattered over to the wall. Desperately wanted to avoid.
お、来た来た。 遅かったじゃねえかよ、お嬢。
お帰りなさい、ひばりちゃん。疲れてるんじゃない？よかったらここに座ってよ。
ひばりさんの席ならもう用意してあるよ。もちろん俺の隣にね。
どこに座ってもらうかはさっきじゃんけんで決めたじゃないですか。俺の隣。
お静かに。盛り上がるのは結構ですが、皆様はまだ名乗ってもおられないことをどうかお
Okay,
忘れ。
let's get through the introduction.
そう言われてみれば。
なんだよ、じいさんと話したんだろ。俺らのことも説明されたんじゃねえの？
あなたたちがおじい様の選んだ花婿候補だということは聞きました。ただそれだけです。
大旦那様のことですから、そういうことは本人同士が顔を合わせてやるべきと思われたのでしょう。
I doubt it. He just wanted to watch me squirt.
そっか。なら改めて自己紹介だね。僕も早くひばりちゃんに名前で呼んでほしいし。
ですね。はいはい、俺いいですか？さっきじゃんけんで勝ったし。
ああ、まあいいんじゃねえ。行け、なゆた。
はい、八神なゆた、20歳です。体動かすのが好きで元気なのが一番の取り柄です。
20? Wait, how old is Hibari?
あとはすごく健康です。風邪一つひいたことないくらい。
I didn't think he was a muscle head, but okay.
1年365日いつでもひばりさんのお役に立てると思います。よろしくお願いします。
I'm pretty sure she's probably like at least senior high school. Yagami does seem energetic. I gave him a small wriggle nod. His face lit up in a bright smile.
次は僕、眉住シオンだよ。22歳、半分フランス人で国籍もフランスなんだ。日本に来たのは割と最近だ。
Okay, conveniently, yes, I have.
僕はナユタンと分かりやすくアピールできることはないかな。強いて言うなら綺麗なものが好きだから、君のことが好きだよ、ひばりちゃん。よかったら今度
Does that
君を綺麗
mean?
に飾らせて。
Sean, what does that mean? So we have Mayuzumi Shion, and we have Yagami Nayuta. I gave him a small nod, hiding my befuddlement at his perfectly scoped smile.
次、俺でいいのか？
あ、どうぞ。
なら遠慮なく行くぜ。イスルギタイガー23。好きな言葉は一発逆転。よろしくない。つか、俺も特に言うことねえ。こいつらに比べりゃごくごく普通の一般人だ。
What do you mean? How regular
気
are
楽に
you?
接してくれ。まあ仲良くやれるかどうかはお嬢次第だけどね。
I get the impression Isurugi is challenging me. When he looked at me with the little smirk on his lips, I couldn't stop my brow from furrowing.
最後はお前だ、一夜。てっきり真っ先に行くと思ってたのに。
まさに真打ち登場にふさわしいだろう。
ああ。
I feel like this one has
待たせ
big
たね、ひばり
narcissism
さん。
here.
俺の名前は三森一也。年は26歳。君より少しお兄さんかな。
By how much?
他人に誇れるようなことはあまりないけど。そうだな。きっとここにいる誰より君を愛する自信ならあるよ。
Please, can you at least drop a hobby, something?
君と添い遂げる未来が現実になるように最大限の努力をすると誓おう。俺を選んで後悔はさせないように。
Something about him rubs me the wrong way. You too, Hibari, you too. Gave me a perfectly timed wink. I felt a cold shiver run up my spine.
以上が今回花婿候補に選ばれた方々です。そして
Mitsumori Ichiya. Isurugi Taiga, Mayuzumi Shion, and Yagami Nayuta.
改めまして、こちらが東条ひばり様。東条家の後継者と目され、私が手塩にかけて育てたお嬢様です。
Okay, I think from here, let me say. Or actually, no, I might just restart from this one. Well, maybe it's because I'm currently not in the mood for this type of storyline, but it's interesting. It's interesting, and I do want to wait and see that there's like a gap. I heard for like some of these characters, in terms of just yeah, there's some big discrepancies for what their true personalities are like. So, not too bad though for Variable Barricade. Prologue went a lot longer than I thought, so I think honestly I might try to keep it more to a schedule. So like maybe 20 to 30 minutes per game would probably be better, just to kind of run around and see which one's good. But I don't I took a long time with like the drawing stream, and I didn't know if I was gonna be able to get through at least, I wanted to at least get through like 2 games. So because I wanted to also keep the stream within like a 3-hour time limit, since I kind of do want to eat. I'm a little bit hungry from just like sitting down and like, you know, drawing with like my back hunched over. So I think, as unfortunate as it is, as I did want to get through another game, I think we're gonna let me go through one other game in terms of like the opening and the premise, and then we're gonna try to see how much we get through of that in like the next 10-20 minutes, and then I'll call it for the day. Probably better to do that if I want to try to get another game in. Okay, so then let me switch back over here. Let me switch this and switch back over to this. Okay. And let me also, there's the, back to the title sequence here. But Variable Barricade is not too bad. I think currently I'm not in the mood for this storyline at the moment. So I will give it a try. I will probably play this at a later time, now that I kind of know what the vibe is on this one. All right, let's go for the second game now. Let's see. So after a Variable Barricade, what else do we have here? Something comfy, something comfy. Oh, rating sale? No. Pio Fio no Bancho. Okay, guys, we're playing the Mafia game. Okay, we're gonna take a look at Pio Fio no Bancho. Honestly, I think I kind of was like aiming to do like a comfy game. Well, a game that was on the comfier side, like Cafe Enchanté. But you know, sure, let's get a taste of what Pio Fio is like, you know? All right, let me switch out the game real quick, guys. Sometimes I forget because I know Pio Fior has its own fan disc, and I was like, oh, and no. Okay, so then let me start this, and then let's switch over again to the game. Warning, it's against the law to distribute. Yep. This story is a work of fiction and it resembles actual people, living or deceased, you know. etc. etc. Next game. I mean, can we? I'm gonna skip a little bit of this because I think the game is gonna play the opening here. To the church. Okay. Let's go through the options first. Okay, it's generally like the same as arcade. Yes, same machine. Liliana, Adornato, Lily. Okay. And toggle? Oh, that kind of. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. We wanna keep default here. Lily, yes. Episodes following the best. Is this the fan disc or is this the game? I forget now. What up, guys? Hold up. No, episode 1962. Yeah. Episode 1926 is Bandis. I was like so confused when I looked at it. Huh? Why is that option there? The episodes following the best ending. Episodes following the bad end. Oh, these are just this. Okay, episodes following the finale. La Storia. Yeah, let's start that.
1925年9月25日第3期報告書記録者ブルローネ市警ロベルト・デ・フェオブルローネ市イタリア王国プッリャ州フォッチャ県に位置アドリア海に面する歴史ある交易都市であり観光業も盛んしかしその一方でブルローネはヨーロッパの裏口という別名で世界に知られた町でもある。ここは犯罪者の巣窟。闇取引が横行し、毎夜多額の金が行き交う。不正と粛清、抗争が絶えない危険地帯。正義はない。この町は暴力に侵されている。この町はマフィアに支配されている。
So this would be like in southern Italy. Okay. Pio Fior.
ブルローネに救う犯罪組織は3つ。ファルツォーネファミリー。ブルローネの最大マフィア。奴らは古くからこの町を食い物にしてきた害虫だ。市、中央周辺など市内面積の約 60% を占めるファルチェ地区を支配している。組織を牛耳るのはダンテ・ファルツォーネ。先代の病死によりカポを引き継いだ若輩だが、性格は冷酷、冷徹。過去にはブルローネ中を巻き込んでの大規模な血の粛清を行った。ファルツォーネは血の掟を徹底する。純血主義を貫き排他的。組織のトップであるカポは代々世襲制。構成員は末端まで純イタリア系に限られ、ファルツォーネ家の血縁者以外が幹部として登用された例はない。そして今から約10年前、ファルツォーネの純血主義に反発した一派が組織から離反、後に独立。それがビスコンティ一家。市内南東のクレタ地区を支配下に置く。アメリカなど国外の新規顧客を積極的に開拓。芳醇な資金力をもとに 急速に勢力を拡大。ギルバート・レッドフォード、ビスコンティの現ボス。特筆すべきは詳細と高いカリスマ性。金払いの良さから支配地区の市民にも強く支持されている。そしてブルローネに救う第3の組織、ラオ州。中華民国の黒社会で活動するリュウ・ファンフイ、いわゆるチャイニーズマフィアを親組織とし、豊富な資金援助を受けている。ラオ州は元来移民たちのコミュニティの一つに過ぎなかった。しかしある男の登場により組織化されると、ここブルローネに台頭するようになる。この男の素性はヤンという名前以外警察でさえ明らかにできていない。徹底した秘密主義か、他組織のカポと異なり、公の場にもほとんど姿を見せることがない。ラオ州は特に暴力、抗争を好む集団であり、拠点を置くベレーノ地区の治安は近年悪化の一途をたどっている。他組織の支配地区に比べて圧倒的に犯罪発生率が高く、最も警戒が必要とされる。
遅くまで熱心だな、ロッピー。あまり根を詰めるのもよくねえぞ。
Yeah, you met our protect yet.
違います。俺はロベルトです。
Oh, just to give a synopsis for what, at least the back of the game, where Fior says, three mafia families, as we've seen, fight for control of Berlone City, and Lily discovers she is in the center of their deadly turf wars. Her encounters lead to danger and distraction. Drawn into the shadowy world, she realizes there is no going back.
期日までまだ間がありますが、ローマのクエストゥーラに出す定期報告書を仕上げてしまおうかと。例によって直属の上司であるあなたのサインが必要です。後で目を通してください。
それは構わねえけどな。
まだ何か？
まあロッピー、お前は経歴からしてピッカピカのエリートじゃねえか。ここはただの腰掛けだろ。そんなにムキになるもんじゃねえぞ。数年、早けりゃ来年にもローマに呼び戻されるだろうさ。ブルローネでの仕事はもっと気楽にやっちゃどうだ。
いいえ、あなた方はどうか知らないが、俺は正義を執行するため警察官になりました。だというのに、この町は今も犯罪者どもが我が物顔で闊歩している。見過ごせるはずがないでしょう。
お前の正義を否定するわけじゃねえ。言ってることもわかるさ。けどなロッピー、俺たち警察はどうせマフィアに手出しできねえんだ。
それがおかしいとは思わないんですか？イタリア王国の管理下にある以上、法の定めに従うべきだ。
ああ、そうだな。この町が普通の町ならそうだろうさ。だが
Yep, we're in South Italy, guys.
今でこそブルローネはこの国の支配下にあるが、古くは強国の領地でもあった町だ。たとえ一国家だろうと、強国の息がかかった土地においそれと文句を言えるはずもねえ。これでいとも簡単に治外法権が完成だ。イタリア王国の法律なんてクソくらえってわけだな。自治体警察として便宜上ブルローネ死刑が置かれちゃいるが、この町じゃ警察なんて無力なもんさ。マフィアに逆らえるやつはいねえ。
Wait, so let me go back into. Maybe right this weren't on heresy, but even though Berlone's part of Italy now, it was a papal state for a long. Oh, okay. So technically, the Italian police can't do anything here because Berlone was in itself not distinguishing part of Italy initially.
ローマのクエストゥーラだってブルローネに関しては腫れ物に触るような扱いだろう。お前がいくら真面目に報告を送ったって向こうは重たい腰を上げちゃくれねえぜ。
くそ。
そうだな。 よそから来たお前にはまだ納得いかねえんだろうが、これは老婆心からの忠告だ。ロベル、お前には未来がある。死に急ぐな。
That was a warning. that was a death flag warning right. That wasn't the prologue? Early morning sunlight filled the room. I yawned, stretching, and climbed out of bed to open the window. Autumn already. The sky was a vibrant blue. I felt the cool, crisp air on my skin as I took a deep breath. Okay. Mornings at the church were always busy, so I needed to get dressed quickly. Okay, right. So Lily is not voiced here. No one's here yet. I wrapped my hands around my rosary and knelt to say my morning prayers. Thank you for your kindness in allowing us to greet the morning once again. May you guide us with your light and watch over us on this blessed day. Praying first thing was like saying good morning to our Father in heaven. Now then, time to get the place cleaned up. I finished my prayer and stood up to fetch the cleaning supplies. I'd better get this place open as soon as I can. The elderly come in rather early to say their prayers. I should hurry. I wouldn't want to keep them waiting after all. Once the inside was clean, I moved to the backyard to rake the fallen leaves. If I can finish before breakfast, I might even get to help cook too. Elena is in charge this morning, isn't she? I can't wait. As my thoughts drifted off to breakfast, I noticed a shadow in the graveyard. Oh. A man with a bouquet of white lilies stood in front of a grave. Isn't he... Gosh, the CG's ephemeral. Oh, Dante Falzone. Gosh. He comes every Wednesday morning to lay flowers on this grave. All I know is that he's a mafia boss and a ruthless one at that. Maybe it was the morning sun, but... He's so beautiful. That's what I'm saying, Lily! Look at that! Like the way the sun hits his face. Hello, Dante. The air around him shimmered and I drew my eyes to his. He's looking at me? Wait, was I just staring at him? I was staring at the Falzone's boss? Yes, Lily, maybe you gotta look away. Hear no evil, see no evil. Must have realized I'd been watching him all this time. This is so embarrassing. Cheek stinging, I closed my eyes. It was so rude of me to stare. I placed the bouquet on the grave and slowly headed toward. He's coming. He would need to cross through the yard to where I was standing to get to the front. Should I say good morning to him? You're already staring at him, Lily. Might as well. Good morning, Senor Falzone.
Oh.
He walked on by without even a look. I breathed a sigh of relief knowing he had nothing to say to me. Another ordinary day, I suppose. I greeted people like this every day as a member of the church, but I've never had a real conversation. Well, he is mafia. He's someone who lives in a world that a normal person like me would never experience. After seeing him off, I went over to the grave where he had just stood. I looked down to see the lilies he left there. Falzone family grave. Here lies the boss of the Falzone family, together with his beloved wife. So in that sense, what that mean, that was basically the parents' grave. It was already breakfast time and everyone was gathered in the dining hall. The church offered food, shelter, and education to children in need. Even after reaching adulthood, some children decide to stay and help the sisters with their daily chores. Just like Elena and me. Sophia.
我らの父よ、あなたの慈しみに感謝して私たちは今日の食事をいただきます。ここに用意されたものを祝福し、私たちの心と体を支える今日の糧としてください。
Those final words from Sister Sophia, everyone began to eat. I noticed the boy sitting there, his hands on his lap. Jan, what's the matter? Aren't you hungry?
そうじゃないけど。ジャンは来たばかりだから ここでの食事にまだ慣れないの。好き嫌いしてるのよ。
ラウラだって朝ごはんがコルネットやカプチーノだったらいいのにって言ってたじゃんか。
Who's out here feeding you kids cappuccino? I mean, granted, this is like 1925 Italy, okay? Granted, okay, but like juice? Fruit juice? Maybe some grape juice? Not wine, but like, you know?
だってその方が大人って感じがするもん。
Now, you two. John, you need to eat so you can grow up nice and strong. As for Laura, you'll need to work hard before you can afford such a fancy breakfast, you hear?
はーい。
Mind you, I bet you won't find soup half as good as what you have here, no matter where you go. The food Elena prepares is always delicious, especially the minestra maritata. Minestra maritata. Soup found in Italy's Campania region, a traditional soup in Napoli. It is made by simmering berries, vegetables, and meat, chicken stock. Oh, okay. Elena Croce?
ありがとう、リリー。
Oh yeah, okay, so this is one of those games too where if you keep the default name, the characters will call you by the default name. That's actually like one of my favorite things, and I'm so glad like this game has that. The soup today had a hint of cumin, and the biscotti she baked was light and sweet with a warm, gentle flavor.
私、あなたに食べてもらうのがとっても好きなの。いつもすごく美味しそうに食べてくれるんだもの。
Sure enough, a smile peeked through as I dipped my biscotti in soup. I can't help myself, it's so good.
でも、お菓子作りはあなたの方がずっと上手よね。また教えてくれる？
Girl, I'd rather be good at cooking like real food. not in this old days where sugar was a luxury item. Of course, Elena. We were both raised in the church. Elena was not only a dear friend to me, but practically my
ね
sister.
えねえお姉ちゃん、朝ごはんの後本を読んでくれる？
私も聞きたい。読んで。
Of course, I've already finished everything I needed to take care of this morning.
やった！
皆さん、今は食事中ですよ。もう少し静かにいただきましょう。主への感謝を忘れずにね。
The weather was nice, so I decided to bring the children out to the backyard. As time passed, the sun grew brighter and warmed up the cool air around us. Is anyone cold? Who needs a blanket?
大丈夫。
Alright, then let's continue where we left off. I was reading to them from a book about God and the angels. The church's teachings were delivered through stories, many of which the children enjoyed.
お姉ちゃん、今のところもう一回読んで。もう一回。
Huh? You don't want me to keep going?
うん。だって天使様ってかっこいいし。
The bright faces of the children looking up at me made me smile.
ねえねえ、お姉ちゃん。この教会にも天使様の伝説があるって本当？
That is true. I'm surprised you've heard of it, Laura. Long ago, an angel descended here from the heavens. It is said that the angel delivered a message to someone to build a church here.
すご
リリー、少し話せますか？
Is something the matter, Sister Sophia?
実はあなたにお願いしたいことがあるのです。明日の炊き出しでお菓子も一緒に配る予定だったでしょ？先ほど
Yes.
材料を確かめてみたのですが、少し足りないようで。
Oh, then let me go and buy what we need. Can we make any sort of sweets? It would be great if I could make use of the ingredients we already had on hand.
ええ、お願いします。でもごめんなさいね。せっかく子供たちの相手をしてくれていたのに、お使いを頼んでしまって。
Oh, don't worry, Sister Sophia, I'm fine. The children raised here often left once they were in their 20s. For me, though, I decided to stay as an adult because I love this place. Being able to work for the church was like a blessing to me. Not to mention, your knees weren't in the best state last I recall.
あら、分かってしまいますか？
I've lived here a long time, Sister Sophia. Every winter she walked shakily as if trying to hide the pain. Don't you worry. Please leave it all to me.
ありがとう。あなたは本当に優しい子ですね。ストラノの方々も炊き出しを心から楽しみにしてくれていると思いますよ。あなたのお菓子はいつも評判が良いですから。
Well then, I suppose that means I need to do my best. Making other people happy makes me happy too. What an angel. Lily, my angel. Now then. I closed the book and looked at the children. I'll need to take care of something, so could we continue the story later?
残念だけど仕方ないよね。
お姉ちゃんいいな。お出かけできて。
I don't think you
僕
want
も
to head
外で
outside.
遊びたい。
I don't think you want to head outside like that, John. Not with the
あ
same
ら、
group right
遊び
now.
に行くわけではありませんよ。教会の外には危険もありますからね。
Yes, and even if you do step outside, always stay with Arca, okay? Don't go into Veleno. Oh, and avoid going into Strano too. Church was located in the Arca district, the safest area in town. Berlone district that stands neutral to the mafia. It is home to the police station, the district court, the hospital, the church, schools, and other facilities. There's a pact in place that prohibits any one family from exercising control over the area. On the other hand, Veleno and Strano were dangerous even for adults. So Veleno, a district under the control of Lao Shu. Among the 5 districts of Berlin, this is the smallest, but the area is filled with age-old structures housing a dense population. Veleno is rife with crime, so most residents of Berlin try to avoid entering for any reason. Strano, the slum district in Berlin that has been showing steady population growth in recent years. The Berlin Fin Mafia offers donations to the town's church so that they can offer provision here. People who aren't associated with any mafia family find themselves here. Health conditions are poor and diseases spread quickly within the district.
ねえねえ。もし街でマフィアと会ったらどうすればいいの？
目を合わせないようにするとか？
いいえ、きちんと挨拶なさい。特にファルツォーネは古くから礼儀と信仰を重んじる方々ですからね。では、みんなで彼女を見送りましょう。それから本の続きは私が。
ありがとうシスタ
ー。いってらっしゃいお姉ちゃん。気をつけてね。
I'll be off then.
ボンジョルノリリー、元気かい？
Buongiorno. Buongiorno to you too. I'm doing well. The weather is looking fine today, isn't it?
朝からあんたに会えるとは幸運だ。わしらもいい一日を過ごせそうだよ。
Grazie, signor. Are you two coming in for the service today?
そうだよ。毎日お祈りに来るのが習慣になってしまっているからね。
あんたはどこか出かけるのかい？
Oh, I'm going shopping to buy some ingredients for sweets.
そりゃ楽しみだ。あんたのお菓子はわしらも大好物じゃからな。
I'm glad to hear it. The Berlin Church baked sweets to sell and also to give out to those in
教
need.
会で育ったあんたが大人になった今、教会を支える一人になって、そんな風に生まれ育った場所を大切にできるのは素敵なことだね。
Oh wait, did I ever change the date? Shoot. Creative memories. That chapter is gonna be so off, but I'm gonna fix it
最
later.
近の若い者はすぐにふるさとを捨てていってしまうからの。
Yes, lately many young women had been leaving Berlin for other places. Last month my friend Viola left and this month it was Eliza. Both of them came to the church to tell us of their departure.
みんな都会に憧れがあるのかね。
お、そうだ。ある顔出るならよく気をつけるんだよ。
ええ、ベレーノの方には一人で行かないようにね。
I was just saying something similar to the children at
お
church.
や、そうかい？
Thank you for your kind consideration. For today, I'm just going to the store around the corner, so I'll be back right away. Oh, I'll be going now. Goodbye.
行っておいで。
I bowed my head to them and waved as I left the church grounds. Taking a shortcut to the store, I passed in front of the casino area. At night, this place was lively and bright, but it was so empty in broad daylight. Berlin is known for its beautiful beach and casino, but both of which bring tourists to the area. As long as they don't step out of the Arca district, it's generally safe for them too. The casino, the church, and the police station were all in this district. I walked through the streets with the warm afternoon sun on my shoulders. As Arca was home to the police station, the district court, the hospital, and other such facilities, its citizens felt at ease. Now then, I held up the purchases I just made and began to ponder over their contents. With the flour and lemons, I could whip up a torta al limon. A lemon tart, basically. I prefer using tart lemon cream with a sprinkle of herbs, but cream doesn't last very long, so it's not the best option. Oh, give me just a minute, guys. Let me drink some water real quick. I muted the wrong. Well. Okay. If the sweets are going to be provisioned, then perhaps baked sweets would work better. As I thought about what to make, I came across a couple of young girls talking.
ねえ、見て、あそこ。うわあ、あの人かっこいい。
I turned my head toward the bar across the street. Immediately, my eyes focused on a man seemingly under a spotlight. I've seen him before. He comes to mass with Senor Falzone every so often. I don't know his name, but he must be a member of the Falzone family. Huh? Is he looking at me? I felt like I was going through the same event as this morning, so my mind drifted off in thought. He winked as if he were playing with me. What is he? Some kind of womanizer? Yes, Lily, that's when you break eye contact and you walk away, okay? My instincts told me that this way of behaving must come so naturally to him. Not knowing how to handle it made it difficult for me to hide my scarlet cheeks. Ah! The lemons in my back fell and rolled around my feet. I'm sorry, I must have been daydreaming. Roberto de Filo.
気をつけろ。
Marco Calderon.
ちょっと待てロピー。今のはお前からぶつかっただろう。リリーは悪かねえよ。謝れ。
繰り返しますが、俺はロベルトです。変な愛称で呼ばないでください。
お前な。
I'm fine, thank you, Marco. I tugged on Marco's sleeve and smiled. I wasn't looking where I was going. I'm so sorry, Roberto.
たく、いい子だな、本当に。感謝しろよ、ロピー。
Marco and Roberto worked as detectives in Berlin. Marco was born here. I heard that he used to help the church out every time there was trouble. Roberto was recently assigned here. He still seemed tense, possibly because he wasn't yet accustomed to the environment.
なんだ?
Nothing. He didn't seem to like me. That's been the case ever since the day we met. I hurriedly looked away from him and bent down to pick up the lemons. It was then that I noticed a well-polished leather shoe appear in my eye line.
はい、どうぞ。
The person at the bar was standing in front of me. He gently wiped away the dirt on the lemons with his fingertips and handed them to me. Grazie, signor.
Nicola Francesca!
His loud voice stopped passerby, making them turn their heads. Roberto, what the frick, man? But the moment they saw who was involved, they continued on their way.
マフィアの分際でよくもこの通りに顔を出せたものだな。
僕がどこで何をしていようと君には関係ないと思うけど。
なめているのか。ここは書の目と鼻の先だぞ。
だから僕はそこでコーヒーを飲んでいただけ。それだけで僕を捕まえる理由になるとでも。
I wonder what you actually. Okay, so that's pretty. Oh, wait, progress. Store progress, all routes. Interesting UI. Okay. Alright, I think. Let me go a little bit further.
あのバールのエスプレッソは絶品でね。たまにどうしても立ち寄りたくなるんだ。
Marco looked around a bit, then mumbled something to Roberto.
それくらいにしとけ、ロッビー。
マルコ。
いつも言ってんだろ。そろそろこの町のルールを覚えたらどうだ。お前はブルローネの警察なんだぞ。他の。
分かっていますとも。
お前はブルローネの警察なんだぞ。他のどこでもないこの町の。
このブルローネはマフィアの支配を公然と受け入れている。彼らに正義などないと知りながら市民の誰もが奴隷のように従属している。こんな状況認められるものか。治外法権。犯罪者は正義の名のもとに等しく罰せられるべきだ。
随分と正義感の強い刑事さんだね。
笑っていられるのも今のうちだ。現政権はマフィア排斥に力を入れている。いつまでも思い通りになると思うな。
お前な、分かってんのか。相手がニコラだから笑って流してくれてんだぞ。そうじゃなけりゃお前は明日にでもアドリア海の魚の餌になってるだろうよ。もし相手がパルツオーネのカポやらラオウ州の連中だった日にゃ。
聞き飽きましたよ、そんな話。俺は仕事に戻ります。
おいロッピー。
マルコも大変だね。
すまねえなニコラ。これでも耳にタコができるくらい言って聞かせちゃいるんだ。この町はパルツオーネの恩恵を受けてでかくなったんだって。よそで生まれ育ったあいつにゃちっとばかし理解が及ばんのかもな。じゃあ俺もそろそろ署に戻る。レディ、何か困ったことがあればいつでも相談に乗るからな。まああるかでもめ事なんぞそうそう怒らねえだろうが。
Don't say that, Marco. Marco glanced towards Nicola and snickered quietly. Mafia families in Arca all honored an unwritten rule to not interfere with one
いざっ
another.
て時は遠慮すんなよ。
Yes, thank you,
お前とも
Marco.
長い付き合いだからな。それに女子供には優しくするのが俺の流儀さ。
Marco turned back and waved a hand. I saw him off with a smile.
それにしてもたくさん買ったね。
Huh? Oh. Nicola lifted the bag I was holding right from my arms.
教会まで送るよ。
Well, we gotta thank him. Thank you very much, Senor Francesca.
どういたしまして。ところで僕は君に名乗ったことあったかな。
No, but I heard Roberto address you when we were by the coffee shop. Was I mistaken?
いや、合っているよ。
Smile is so bright and endearing. Be careful, Lily. Picked up the lemons I dropped without a second thought and is carrying them for me.
どうかした？
No, nothing. I think here should be fine. Thank you for your generosity, Senor. It has been a great help to me.
役に立てたならよかった。君のその笑顔が何よりの報酬だよ。じゃあ、気をつけてね。
Why did he whisper that? Nicola? Nicola? What does he mean by that? That's what I mean. That's what I'm saying. Guess he means for me to watch my step next time. Still, I felt something odd about his words as he silently walked away. Almost time for dinner, so I'd better help Elena. I felt uneasy, but I forced myself to focus and headed inside with the groceries in hand. It's almost time for me to close the doors to the church. Nightfall had come and I made my way down to the aisle as usual. The doors to the church were open during the day for parishioners to visit. As I was about to lock the bolt on the door, I sensed someone passing by. Someone go into the backyard? Maybe I'm just seeing things. I should hurry back. I locked the doors and headed to the other end of the monastery. It's so dark outside. I returned to my room and began to get dressed for bed. It was then that I looked into the mirror and caught my reflection. I saw the birthmark on my chest. Lily, that's a very intricate birthmark, I'm not gonna lie. I thought it would go away as I grew older, but it's still there. Still here. I felt a sadness come over me, but I shook it off and continued changing. I knelt next to my bed and clasped my hands together to say my prayers. What should I pray for? Well, today went pretty okay, so ask for God's blessing tomorrow. I thank you, God in heaven, ask for your blessing once again. I had no knowledge of what awaited me tomorrow, but I couldn't help but look forward to what the future had in store. I'll do my best, one step at a time. I want to pray again tomorrow night just like today. I want every day to be as wonderful as the day before. Good night. And we're going to stop there because I went a lot more over than I but yeah, at least we got through 2 games. Alright, but thank you everybody for joining me today on both the drawing segment of this stream and for the Otome game roulette segment of this stream. Yeah! I'm gonna probably be editing the VOD just because I think there were whatchamacallit. Right. I forgot to switch the game category midway through. So I'm gonna see if I can like make some changes to that. And some other adjustments here and there. But yes, thank you all so much. Again, I'll definitely be doing more drawing streams in the future. I'll bring this segment up again in the future as well. I don't want to say maybe continuing further, but like maybe for Pure Fior, maybe just because the pacing for this one we didn't get too far, and I'm a little bit more interested to hear what's going on with this one. I guess because that's just what I'm currently in the mood for. But we will see next time around. If I'm still in the mood to continue playing Pure Fior or go with something different. Otherwise, I'll have a schedule or a tentative schedule put out sometime for this week. The plan is to probably stream this week, but depending on if I'm too tired or too busy, maybe that will get moved. But I'll put something out tentatively, temporarily, see if I'm able to make it or not as a placeholder. Otherwise, that's pretty much it. Thank you all again for the stream. If you like what I do, like what I stream, please leave a follow. I also simulstream to YouTube. If you like what I stream there, if you want to see any of the older VODs, they will be there. And you can leave a subscribe there. And I sometimes post to Blue Sky as well. Alright. With that all being said, and let me also post in the end bit here for the link to the YouTube. Thank you all again, and I hope to see you guys all during the next stream. Okay, everybody. Thank you all again. I'll talk to you soon. Or see you in the next stream. Or whatever. Alright, I hope everyone here has a good morning, afternoon, evening. I'll see you again. Alright, everyone. Bye-bye.